where we left off yesterday. Let's go to road. As the moon replaced the fading flames of the sunset, a hush descended upon the gathering, the remnants of laughter dissipating like mist in the crisp night air. Okay, so we are on the sixth chapter, I guess. And yeah, let's continue. I felt a sigh slide from my lips, a physical release from the warmth of the room and the dizzying will of Brandon's narratives. From what I remember, we met Brandon last time, and our Clara left them on their own, and she's back to her room. And I guess those gentlemen are still having their jolly time drinking. Phew, I'm never joining them in future. While his tales about Edward, spun with the flourish of tipsy rencontre, had held a certain charm, his inebriated state was intolerable. The thought of Edward, poor fellow, trapped in the vortex of Brandon's boisterous bonhomie, sent a ripple of enjoyment across my lips. Honestly, I find him using me as his convenient excuse. A prickling sensation as though airy eyes bored into my back prompted me to pivot on my heel. Yet the corridor remained stubbornly empty, the familiar shadows untouched by any intruder. I feel the chills again. I found myself quickening my steps towards my room, trying to ignore the trickle down my spine. The manor of late had seemed steeped in an unusual aura, a deepening of its unusual shadows even as the daylight hours stretched longer. It was merely my imagination, I pondered absently. My gaze drifted to the window. Or did the lengthened shadows indeed hold a different kind of mystery in their grasp? One minute. A shaft of light, unexpected and intrusive, pierced the gloom above, momentarily illuminating the second floor. As though I could recognize the corridors at night as harmless, the house rules demanded discretion. I lowered myself into the shadows to avoid getting in their sight. The beam briefly danced across the ceiling before plunging back into darkness, leaving me blinking in the aftermath. Hesitantly, I peeked through the glass, only to find a familiar face. It's Olivia. Clad once more in her flowing robe, Olivia glided towards the basement, her fingertips brushing the edge of her hood. The sight struck me with a discordant note. Her purposeful movements seemed at odds with the strict confines of the household dictates. Did Olivia, I pondered, weave these very directives to cloak a candescent purpose? Answers, it seemed, were paramount. With the swift feet I descended the stairs, my steps quickened by the urge to unravel the secrets lurking beyond the backyard threshold. Olivia's swift departure had painted the air with a chilling absence, the silence itself pregnant with the echo of her hurried steps. Time, draped in a cloak of uncertainty, seemed to slow to a crawl, each tick of a clock a reminder of the secrets lurking beneath my feet. The weathered metal handle of the cabin door, cool and clammy under my touch, felt like a chilling premonition of the truths I was about to unearth. Taking a stirring breath, I pushed open the heavy door, a groan, a haunting prelude to the descent into the enigmatic depths below. Oh, this is a surprise. The door hung ajar between me and the shadowed depths within silently screaming. Like whispers of tales of decay and abandonment, the wind gnashed through the crack. Holy. Sharp and acrid taste of alcohol lingered. It burnt a patch of defiance down my throat like a temporary antidote to the creeping dread. The cabin's familiar aroma of rust and sawdust had vanished, replaced by a damp, earthy chill that crept up my sleeves as I stepped across the threshold. No cluttering shelves or workbenches greeted me, only a broad staircase spiraling downwards like a black serpent into the heart of the unknown. The candlestick, snatched from a forgotten corner, offered a spluttering bravado against the encroaching darkness. This is a lot in detail. Its flame, buffeted by a sudden gust of frigid air, flared precariously, casting shifting shadows that danced on the rough haven walls. A grimace twisted my features as I clutched my hands together, offering scant protection against the chilling breeze. I don't know why, but this place gives me creeps. Honey, this is a haunted house. The gloom at the bottom of the stairs yielded to a subtle luminescence, painting the damp stone walls with an enigmatic glow. Bathed in the harsh glare of the room, Olivia stood rooted, her back rigid against the shadowed staircase. Incoherent syllables were stumbling from her lips. The very air cracked with unseen eyes, amplifying the manor's inherent airiness to an unbearable pitch. What? A monstrous hand of ice gripped my heart, squeezing the air from my lungs. Panic gnawed at my insides as I contemplated flight, yet my foot remained rooted, transfixed by the infernal revelry on the wall. The shadows, no longer passive observers, had become predators, their contorted forms writhing in a chilling symphony of dread. Holy. Oh god, what is happening here? Ah! The housekeeper's body twisted and contorted into impossible angles, limbs weaving like vines reaching for the wound. Her laughter, a shrill cry that scraped down my spine, mingled with incoherent whispers that danced at the edge of comprehension. Hisses coiled around me like slithering serpents, punctuated by the high-pitched squeaks of unseen night terrors. Terror, cold and clammy, flooded my veins, making my body tremble like a ship caught in a sudden storm. The shadows, hungry mouths, stretched from the corners of the room, devoured the edges of my vision, swallowing the floor beneath my feet. Disoriented and lost, I stumbled, the hard earth slamming into me like a cruel embrace. Olivia, usually unflappable, froze, her gaze snapping towards the source of the sudden noise. Her chest rose and fell in rapid, stertorous breaths. You! Fill yourselves! Each step of the winding staircase echoed in the abyss, the shadows playing tricks on her senses. Nowhere to hide, nowhere to seek solace, just the oppressive vastness pressing in from all sides. Every nerve ending hung with alertness, her ears straining to catch the faintest whisper in the suffocating silence. What should I do? Wait, save it. We blow the candle and hide. Easy, Clara. Deep breaths, it's just a spell. With a shaky yet deterministic hand, I snuffed out the candle and plunged myself back into the inky void to retrace my steps up the stairs. Because anyway, if we go back again, we need to climb the stairs, and that's going to make some sounds of the footstep. And at least we'll need the light to see where the steps are. So I think going back would be a bad idea. Okay, but let's see. My eyes were fixed on Olivia's silhouette, which remained unmoving. Even if she turned, my form would melt into the shadows. Easy, Clara. Everything is going to be alright. Just calm down. The fragile truce of stillness shattered like a predator scenting prey. Olivia turned, her eyes glinting with newfound realization. Moonlight stretched shadows in hungry fingers, each one inching closer, closer until they clasped. Okay, did she got Clara? She clasped around me like icy chains. Finished, I thought, the word a cold ember on my tongue as the jaws of my fate clamped shut. Thud. After the crash, only a trembling tuft of fur, a cat's shadow clinging to Olivia's palm, broke the silence. I could see her tail. Olivia hadn't flinched at the noise, even though she must have heard. Now I figured she was busy thinking about the fuzzy problem at her feet. Oh, we came back. Yo, we're alive. Guys, we're alive. Okay. The shadows clung to me like cobwebs and I clawed my way up the stairs. Only when the distance muffled the world below did I feel the ice around my heart thaw, allowing me to unleash a frantic sprint until I finally stumbled into the sanctuary of my room. Had I run, I would have been in danger. Doubt dancing on the edge of consciousness as I hunched, hands raw against my cheek. But deep within, where the liquor couldn't reach, an unsettling certainty gloomed cold and real. What was Olivia doing in the basement? Okay, I can feel the cold fingers on my cheek with the writing. This writing is like absolutely great writing. My lips remained locked as if the words I carved had all retreated to the corners of my mind, lost in the labyrinth of ineffable truths. Chapter 7. Spring's cleansing breath finally swept through the manor, leaving behind a sparkling anticipation for the impending grand ball. With the new lord claiming our esteemed halls, the preparations were monumental, a symphony of polished silver, starched linens, and meticulously planned details, all to impress the flock of fashionable folk descending from the capital. Their silks would rustle like whispered gossip, their laughter like crystal candeliers tinkling beneath the summer moon. Every cobblestone would be scrubbed to brilliance, every blade of grass coaxed into perfect submission. But me, nestled in the quiet cocoon of Edward's chamber, I remained a humble moth in this whirlwind of extravagance, swapping velvet drapes for airy linens, lumping feather pillows until they mimicked clouds. It was familiar waltz amidst the impending revelry. No shimmering gowns or scandalous secrets for me, just the comforting dance of dust motes waltzing in sunbeams. The real drama, however, unfolded not in the echoing walls but in the sun drenched embrace of the backyard. The mausoleum waited a throng of visitors. Thus, I waged daily battle against the tenacious weeds, their roots gripping the earth like stubborn secrets. Each weed yanked, bagged, and banished was a silent victory, a bead of sweat rolling my cheek, my only medal. Strange how this burgeoning summer crept into my veins, turning even the simple tasks into steam baths. Whoa, the sun is scorching hot. Moments like this occasionally stirred the memories of the townhouse across my mind, but their hold was fleeting, Laughter echoed through the halls, laced with the warmth of genuine camaraderie. And Edward, my thoughts drifted back to a chance encounter in the central hall, sunlight slanting across his features and framing them with a halo of dust motes. I never thought I'd see him convey such intensity. Edward, once cloaked in an indifferent haze, began to shed his diffident shell as the new master of the manor. He had teeth, sharp ones, as he tackled tasks with ironclad resolve and demanded respect in return. Oh, cool. Despite lingering whispers of disapproval, fueled perhaps by his newfound authority or grudging acknowledgement of his resourcefulness, a curious shift had occurred. Yeah, he has gone through a lot of character development behind the scenes. An unspoken vigilance, a collective awareness now followed him through the halls. Within me, this unexpected metamorphosis sparked a quiet hope, a tentative belief that beneath the gruff exterior something more might glimmer. But Edward's domain remained an echo of solitude. The very walls seemed to be whispered with the memory of footsteps padding alone through velvet darkness, pervasive loneliness that clung to him like a second skin. I yearned to bridge the chasm, to offer a touch, some warmth, in the bleak debut of his isolation. Now, even that small comfort seemed an intrusion met with a steely resolve that chilled my outstretched hand before it could reach its mark. Right. With the sack of wheat slumped at my feet, a buried memory clawed its way from the depths of my mind. Edward, he needed to know about Olivia. An insidious procrastination had held me captive, whispering doubts about the validity of my drunken vision. Could he trust the muddled reflection glimpsed through a veil of ale? Yet the impending ball, a glittering serpent on the horizon, demanded I finally break free. Yeah, just tell him. My anxieties, like barbed veins, pointed a singular, accusatory finger. Olivia Quiller. Perhaps all those strange phenomena were Olivia's doing. Alright, I should talk. I balled my fist and started climbing up the stairs. Scarcely, scarcely had I set foot on the first step when discordance ripped through the silence. I rounded the corner to find Braden and Edward in the doorway, their faces locked in the silent standoff, etched with something far more potent than mere annoyance. I am doing you.
私のことを、クラ。
If you are truly Clara, what? The distance muffled their words, a frustrating veil blurring the edges of the argument. Fiddling with a non existent wrinkle on my dress, I strolled towards them, the picture of nonchalant curiosity. As my footsteps echoed, their heads snapped up in unison, faces grim and jaws clenched like bear traps. Hello, gentlemen. A smile as sudden and unexpected as a dandelion puff in the wind bloomed on Brandon's face. Edward, however, slumped slightly, edged with the remnants of the storm.
もう行ってもいいですか？
I wonder what they were discussing. Leave where? This is your room. Brandon couldn't hold back a chuckle as he seized the potted plant, sunlight glinting off the leafy fronds like emeralds. With a flourish, he thrust it towards me, his eyes sparkling with mischief. Here you go, Miss Clara. Take this to Edward's room for me, would you? Oh my, how beautiful! Indeed, isn't it? I bought it from a peddler. A bit of vibrancy, and, if rumor holds true, a sprinkle of good fortune. It will be a most welcome addition. I always thought adding a touch of life here could brighten things up, don't you think? As Brandon's animated pronouncements stretched on, Edward grew impatient. He cleared his throat, a dry rasp cutting through the conversational flow, gave a sigh.
いらないから捨ててくれ。
But Lord Edward, it's such a lovely specimen, and surely a touch of green wouldn't hurt.
いいや、大丈夫だ。
Cradle the pot in my hands, I trace the delicate contours of vibrant green shoots, their unyielding posture. Regardless of its authenticity, the notion of discarding a hope bearer, however fragile, sat ill with me. What if within the verdant tapestry of this gift lay a hidden charm, whispering tales of potential fortune for Edward? In that case, I can ensure this beautiful plant thrives in your room, requiring no further effort on your part. Their countenances were sturdy in contrast. Brandon, a grinning Cheshire cat, eyes sparkling with amusement. Edward, in stark counterpoint, a storm cloud roiling with brewing discontent. His composure, carefully crafted, seemed to chip away at the edges, revealing a flicker of anxiety beneath the hardened mask of disapproval. My heart hammering against my ribs, a drumbeat of justification against the rising tide of doubt. With your permission, of course, since I tend to your chambers. Cease your servant, Edward. He pressed his lips together before releasing a sigh that seemed to rumble from somewhere deep within.
クララ、いくら私があなたを大切にしているからといって、今のは違う。
But we wouldn't want to just give away of this tiny hope that could bring fortune. But you have a look at your room, you'll drown in here. With a hesitant sweep of my arm, I indicated the entrance to Lord Robert's erstwhile sanctum, now Edward's own. Its proximity to the